It's the most horrifying time of the year, when the slashers are slashing and monsters are gnashing your bones and you're in fear. It's the most horrifying time, yes, the most harrowing time, oh, the most terrifying time of the year.
A horrifying Halloween to you all. I don't know. Happy Halloween just sounded like an oxymoron, so that's what I went for. I really wish I could have put this out on Halloween, but it just so happens that I am recording this on Halloween. So with the editing and all, I'll probably be releasing this on normal schedule. So with that out of the way, let's move on to this week's horror film.
Dit is jou goed.
Sy was hier lank voor die ape begin drome van gode.
GAIA is a 2021 South African horror thriller that will have you screaming, "What in the Last of Us is that?" Now, in the past couple of reviews for horror films leading into and a little past Halloween, the goal has been to not spoil these films, but I do not consider that earlier bit a spoiler cause it is very much a part of the trailers. Written by Tasha Scapp and directed by Jacob Bauer, the film traps us in a dense rainforest with two rangers and a supposed indigenous family of two, slowly unraveling to us a supernatural phenomenon where the plants, more specifically mushrooms, are endangering the lives of our main characters. And if you're wondering how we got ourselves into this horrific situation, well, that's of course because...
You're just like those whiteys, huh? Danger! Where? Oh, let me go see.
GAIA, despite all of its supernatural elements, actually falls under the subgenre of natural horror, where natural forces in the form of plants or animals pose the threat to the film's characters. Basically, this is M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
An act of nature and will never fully understand it.
Nice answer, Jake. He's right.
But written and executed slightly better.
Plants have a chemistry to do this. They release co-transporters into the air.
You think it could be plants?
I don't know.
Now, I say slightly cause the film came out to mixed reviews, so there's a chance that a huge percentage of you will not mesh with this film. Well, its execution, to be precise. If I were to take a shot in the dark, I'd say it has something to do with the multiple dream sequences. It's just one of those devices that film buffs and general audiences have come to find rather stale and uninspired over the years. But then again, that's heavily speculative. However, my personal gripes with this film is that in an African horror film with 4 characters, all of them but one being white, the black guy still dies first.
Think about it, man. Unforgiven, Alien, Rocky IV, The Shining,
Star Trek II, Forrest Gump, Witness,
Annie Hall. Not Annie Hall.
no, Night of the Living Dead.
That's the one.
And what about that brother in Jurassic Park, man?
There was 2 black guys who died in that one. That was a twofer. You must be really pissed off at that one.
I'm telling you, man, the black guy always dies first.
I mean, come on. 4 characters, he couldn't go like second. You couldn't add like a 5th character and just have that one die first, then the black guy. This cast though does carry its weight whenever they have their screen time. Monique Rockman leads the pack as Gabby, a forest ranger, alongside her on-screen and I guess also off-screen colleague, Antonio Siemi, playing Winston, the other park ranger. They are paired up with the duo of Karel Nell and Alex Van Dyke, playing the father-son pair of Barend and Stefan, the indigenous inhabitants of the rainforest. And I would be remiss to not add mad props to the stunt actors Conway October, Enrico Sam, and David Smith. You see, aside from the 4 characters with actual scripted dialogue, these stunt workers contributed massively to the tying together of the film's awe and dread. Their presence on screen, as well as the way they move and contort their bodies whilst in and out of focus in various shots, are huge factors in maintaining the disturbing atmosphere of this hellscape. And not to mention, just having to move like that with all that makeup and prosthetics on you is something deserving of a shout. And I know I was avoiding spoilers, but the way this film showcases body horror is actually pretty astounding. There's just something about how they show this particular forest invading and defiling the human body that just made my skin crawl at times, and I am not a particularly squeamish person, so bravo! Which actually leads me to note that this film is overall a technical marvel. The cinematography by Jory van der Walt remains absolutely stunning in this all-green jungle hellscape and throughout all other different locations we shift through in the film. The film also features an eerie and earthy original score prepared by Pierre-Henri Wicombe, and the buck does not stop at the score cause the sound design and audio mixing of this film is sublime, further enhancing the tone of the film and the dread it invokes when the horror elements of the film come into play. And speaking of the horror elements, these creature designs are a marvel to witness. I mean, you wouldn't want to meet these anywhere, but it doesn't take away from their horrific beauty, which is helped by the fact that these are mostly practical effects. Where I had previously given a nod to the stunt workers behind the creatures, it is with rigorous work from the hair and makeup department, courtesy of Sulani Sayaman.
I worked with a lot of natural things. So we shot in the woods in Naisna. I used a lot of lichen that I would forage off of the trees, and I would go on walks and like come back with bags of stuff to use on the characters. Mostly because it's just more real, obviously, because it is the real deal.
With Marichan Vaslu over at the costume design department and Clinton Smith handling prosthetics that brought these creatures to life. With all these elements alongside a stellar production design, it is no wonder that this film swept at the 2023 South African Film and Television Awards. And before I close this out, I just wanted to say, and this still is spoiler free, I don't think I could even spoil this if I wanted to, the third act of this film takes a turn very reminiscent of Darren Aronofsky's Mother. I mean, all the way down to the production choices, the shot framing, the biblical undertones, it's the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's very, very trippy. And I don't know, I just felt like I had to put that out there. If you watched Mother before, if you understood Mother, especially the ending and the symbolism of it and the, all the messaging, and more especially if you enjoyed Mother, then you might actually enjoy the final act of this film. And of course, apply that vice versa. If you didn't like Mother, then you're not going to like the third act and conclusion of this film. So yeah, the film does have its faults. It can be a bit slow sometimes and it might feel a bit heavy-handed. The execution does have its own problems, especially the multiple dream sequences that I mentioned before. But I would recommend this as a great Halloween watch. Sadly, you would not be getting this recommendation before Halloween, but for your next horror movie night or your next Halloween holidays, I hope you will remember this one. And yeah, that is all from me today. I would love to hear if you watched this movie and what you thought about it down in the comment section below. It has been your soon-to-be favorite vampiric Uncle Omari, and I would love to suck your blood. I mean, I would love to see you all in the next one.